January is behind us and Zion's first month in the NBA has come to an end. And even though he's played just a total of 6 games so far, there are some predictions about him that have proven to be true and some that are plainly false. So in this video, we're going to look at the yes, no, maybes of Zion's game so far. Let's start with what Zion has proven so far about his game, and let's also start with his most impressive attribute on offense. Not his athleticism, but his post play. Before I explain why, let me show you. Look at this play against the Rockets. He gets the ball in the post against PJ Tucker and he stops. He looks at the defense and surveys his options. While this may seem obvious, this is a lost art about post play in the NBA. Most post players will just get the ball in the post and immediately start backing down the defenders because that's what they think post play is, just trying to overpower your defender. But it's not. It's much more technical than that. It's about looking at the angles and outmaneuvering your defender. And that's what Zion does here. He could overpower PJ Tucker and back him down if he wanted, but he doesn't. He looks at the defense, makes a quick cut to the baseline where he knows no help defender can come, uses some of his strength to keep PJ Tucker behind him and gets the bucket. So instead of outpowering, he decides to outmaneuver. And that's what great post players do. On top of that, Zion just doesn't have one move in the post. He can go over his left shoulder, he can go over his right shoulder, he can post up on the right block, he can post up on the left block, and this versatility shows to what extent Zion's understanding of post play is. Add on top of that he can pass out of the post if doubled, and he's already showing why he can become one of the best post players in the league. Another definitive aspect of Zion's game is his rebounding. Zion is going to be a dominant rebounder throughout his NBA career. In all of his game, probably the most consistent aspect about him has been his rebounding. And I'm not talking about stat padding rebounds. I'm talking about going and fighting for rebounds. Out of the 39 rebounds that he has so far, 16 of them have come on the offensive end. And that just shows the attacking mentality that he has. When stars are able to impact the game without having the ball in their hands, they are able to elevate their game to another level. And speaking of not having the ball in their hands, let's look at the third definitive aspect of Zion's game, his screening. Asking one of your stars to not have the ball in his hands and create chances by screening is easier said than done. This is especially true if you have a tandem which doesn't include a big man. Most top players are used to doing damage with the ball in their hands, but Zion is showing that he can be as threatening without the ball as well. He sets screens, rolls, looks for the lob or the pass, and if he doesn't get that, then he tries to establish position for the rebound. By doing this, on many occasions, he's been able to assert himself in the play some way or the other. And the great thing about this is that it helps the team. Zion is able to gel well with his teammates because he isn't taking touches away from them. They are able to play their game, Zion is able to play his game, and the whole team benefits from it. Let's now look at the things that have proven untrue about Zion so far in the NBA. The first thing is that he is unfit. The angle that Zion is overweight and that it'll somehow hamper him from competing in the NBA is weak to say the least. He has shown that he can run with the best of them. His athleticism is not on par but in fact exceeds those around him. His health concern is always going to be there. What if he lands badly on one of his ankles? With all that weight coming down on them, it could be dangerous, but I guess that's a concern with everyone in the NBA. So far, he has shown that he can compete with the physicality and pace of the NBA, and I think that's going to be true throughout his NBA career. Another criticism about him is that he is probably going to be too slow on defense, and I'm not really sure about that. Now, he's not the best at keeping defenders in front of him, but he doesn't exactly suck at it either. He has shown flashes of his ability to switch on the 1 and 2 positions and do well against them. At times, he's been able to do a very good job at defending them. So, for the moment, I'm going to put this criticism of him in the no pile. Let's now look at the maybes and what parts of his game we are still unsure of. The first thing is his 3-point shooting. Now, I know he made 4 threes against the Spurs and it was super cool to watch, but even as those threes were going in, I was unconvinced. I mean, each shot that he took looked like a miss to me, simply because of the fact that his shots are so flat, and that's never a good sign. If you struggle as a shooter, shooting flat shots just reduces the chances of hitting threes at a high volume. You can also look at his free throws with the same concern. He is so far an inconsistent free throw shooter, and that mostly has to do with how flat his shot is. Even after the Spurs game, he hasn't put up many threes, and he hasn't made any after that game either. And to be honest, I don't know if he takes 4 threes against the Spurs if he misses the first one. But at the same time, he isn't like Ben Simmons either, where he is afraid of shooting them. So I guess the jury is still out on this aspect. Another thing that I'm not really sure of is his rim protection. Now, the Pelicans have rolled out lineups with him at the 5 a few times, and offensively it's been great to watch. The barrage that came against the Spurs was with him playing at the 5. But one of the reasons that the Spurs were able to withstand it is because they were attacking Zion on defense. And that's going to remain a concern whenever the Pelicans play Zion at the 5. I mean, who is going to be the rim protector? Will teams continue to attack him on defense? Who knows? But that's still something to look at whenever Zion is going to play at the 5. Anyways, 6 games in and Zion has already made waves in the NBA. I don't know what the rest of his season looks like, but I look forward to finding out.